Well, Randy was a guy, if you didn't fight him, he was like Ronnie Garvin, he'd eat you up.
Well, what else was going on around this time is Luger had turned heel. He joins up with the Dungeon of Doom. So you have that, and you'll see that he's going to take on Macho Man at this at the pay-per-view. But I want to talk a little bit about the Horsemen, because all of you had turned on Sting at the last pay-per-view at Halloween Havoc. And so now it's going to build to a Sting Flair match at World War III. But there were some happenings that went on at Nitro leading up to World War III. Sting defeats Flair on November 6th at Nitro and refuses to release the Scorpion Deathlock until Luger whispers something in his ear. But they're building this tension between Sting, Hogan, and Savage. But I want to talk more about this edge. We've always known Sting to be this white meat baby face, but all of a sudden now he has a little bit more attitude. And I'm kind of digging this side of Sting because we haven't seen that at this point. Or what are your thoughts on Sting? Like, he's not releasing the hold, holding it in, the Scorpion Deathlock on Rick. And I think it was just more of, I'm sick of you screwing me one more time like you and the Horsemen did again at the Havoc.
I don't think there was anything heelish about it. Flair had it coming. We all had it coming. If he would have done that to any of us after what we had done to him, we deserve it. And that's just Sting having a little rougher, darker edge to the way he fights back. You know, there's a way to wrestle and out wrestle your opponent. And if your opponent wants to take it up to another level, you need to bring it up and meet him. And that's what he did by not releasing that hold.
I also think, too, it's kind of like the evolvement as we go through the 90s of, you know, we obviously have the traditional babyface and heel rules, but it's kind of okay. You're starting to see that morphing. It's kind of okay for the babyface to have a little bit of an edge. And we'd see that with the Attitude Era take off. But you're already starting to see this now here with Sting.
Yeah, and I think fans got it. They liked it. It worked.
Let's talk a little bit about Lex Luger and Randy Savage, guys, because Luger attacks Savage arm, which, if you remember from World War III, he's going to hone in on that injury, and he attacks it on November 13th at that Nitro. Sting doesn't make the save, and but we have the big adversarial headbutting now of Luger and Savage going at it. I really enjoyed the believability of Luger and Savage. And as I went back and watched this, Arn, especially World War III, man, there was some intensity in this one too. Savage just has a way of bringing it out in people, doesn't he?
He is intense, or he was intense. And everything you remember about him, the one thing, if you ask any talent that had been in the ring with him as an opponent or as a partner or whatever it may be, Randy was intense. I mean, he was intense about every aspect. Where Elizabeth was concerned, he was off the deep end every time he was in a match. The guy was he was intense. If he's walking around backstage, he just had this look on his face like, get out of the way.
And listen, he brought it out of a guy like Lex Luger. Not saying Lex Luger, couldn't get intense or couldn't get fired up, but there was just something about the guys that Randy worked with. I felt like as a fan, he just seemed to always bring the best out of them. We'd see it with DDP years later in the feud that he had with him too.
Well, Randy was a guy, if you didn't fight him, he was like Ronnie Garvin, he'd eat you up. So you had to bring the intensity back to him. Whatever he brought to you, you got to bring it back to him, or he'd eat you alive.